Nice to meet you all, everyone, again. Today, we like to see what is the process of human resource planning and what are the difficulties for human resource planning and what are the guidelines for effective human resource planning. Step by step, we are going to see what and all these things. First, we are going to see the process, or you can say the steps of human resource planning. The process of human resource planning involves few steps. First one is determination of objectives of human resource planning. Second one, preparation of current human resource inventory. Third one, demand forecasting. Fourth, supply forecasting. And fifth, gap analysis and estimating the net manpower requirements. Action plan for redevelopment and redundancy. And next one, employment plan. And eighth one, training and development program. So, manpower planning is a continuous process. Okay, as we seen in the last slide, it is a continuous process. The manager responsible for manpower planning has to be considered with all the steps at all the time. So he may have to revise employment plan and training and development programs from time to time, depending upon the changes in circumstances. So such a sudden changes in volume of production or unexpected higher rate of labor turnover, or we can say existing skills and so on. So these and all things to be have a better planning in the human resource. So we are going to see what is the first one, objectives for human resource planning. Here, the ultimate purpose of manpower planning is to relate future human resource to future enterprise needs so as to maximize the future return on investment in human resource. So, manpower planning must be integrated with the overall organizational plans. Manpower planning should be done carefully as it has got long-term repercussions. So once the wrong forecast of future requirements of human resource and the wrong analysis of the available manpower inventory are made, it may not be possible to rectify the errors in the short run. So it is therefore very much important that manpower planning should be more concerned with filling future vacancies with the right type of people rather than with matching existing personnel with the existing jobs. So that is the foremost objective. Then second one, current inventory of human skills. Here, analysis of current human resource supply may be undertaken by department or by function or by occupation or even by level of skill or qualifications. So appropriate adjustments in these would need to be made in the light of any forcible changes in weekly hours of work or holidays or leave entities and so on. So it may be noted that assessment of demand for the operative personnel presents less problems of uncertainty and current manpower supply can be adjusted accordingly. So, but if you see the projections of manpower requirements for supervisory and managerial levels present a complex problem because the required talents are not available at a short notice. So this explains the need to ascertain the present manpower inventory in the enterprise. So where this will also help in drawing recruitment and development plans to meet the needs of certain skills in the future. So systematic steps must be taken in order to ensure that a reservoir of talent is available when vacancies occur. So the search for talented employees in the organization must be continuous always. So to be sure that available talent has been included, the inventory of various skills in the enterprise should be indexed. So detailed biodata of each individual, including in the manpower inventory, must be obtained separately for the purpose of manpower planning. So these records will provide the foundation for a program of individual development, where it also reveals the scarcity or even non-availability of certain talents for which outside sources of manpower may be tapped. Okay, so the third one, demand forecasting. Here, a proper forecasting of manpower required in the future. So, the major determinants of future human resource demand are namely employment trends or replacement trends, or even productivity changes or growth and expansions like that. So, the techniques must often used for demand forecasting include managerial judgment, work study, and statistical techniques. So, an overview of the determinants and techniques of demand forecasting is it has to be in a proper rates. Okay, then fourth one, if you see supply forecasting. Here, along with the demand forecasting, it is equally important to forecast the supply of different types of personnel with the organization at the cutoff date of human resource planning. So there are two sources of supply of manpower. One is internal and external. But internal supply is more important for manpower planning, where it comprises of the employees working in the organization who can be promoted or transferred to fill up various jobs as and when they fall any vacant. So this would require an evaluation of the present personal abilities, their strengths and weaknesses. So as to gauge their suitability for different jobs, they need some order to estimate a internal supply of personnel. So it is necessary to conduct a human resource audit and prepare replacement charts in advance. Here we can see there are two types of audits mainly. One is human resource audit and the second one is replacement charts. First one, systematic audit or executive personnel or managers would lead to creation management inventories, while that of non-managerial employees would lead to preparation of skill inventories. So, human resource audit gives a thorough idea of potential and the capabilities of persons working in an organization. So, personal records of all personnel should be updated periodically. So, as to record the new accomplishments or qualifications and skill obtained by different types of personnel over the time to time, they have to be recorded. Then another one you can say replacement charts. So these replacement charts are meant for listing each key position and indicating time when it is likely to be vacated. So they also list the most likely candidates working in the organization suitable to fill their vacancies and also the time when they should when they would be ready for promotion. In short, we can say a replacement chart presents clearly who will replace whom in case of vacancy. So often large enterprise use computers to record job analysis, information and human resource audits and replacement summaries. So these and all comes under replacement charts. Now we are going to see the fifth one, that is gap analysis. What is this gap analysis all about? It is one type of estimating the net human resource requirements. Okay. So here the human resource planner must compare the demand forecast for human resource with the projected internal supply of human resource before coming to any conclusion. So this exercise should be carried out department and skill wise to know the deficiencies or surplus of various types of personnel in future. So the possibility of a transfer of personnel from one department to another and promotion of personnel to higher jobs must also be considered to determine net human resource requirements in the organization as a whole. Then sixth one, action plan for redeployment and redundancy. So what is this all about? Here, the management has to plan for redeployment and redundancy in case of surplus staff position. If surplus is estimated in some jobs or even departments, employees can be redeployed in other jobs or even departments where the deficit of employees is estimated. So the management also plan for training or reorientation before deployment of employees. So redundancy plan has to be made if the surplus employees cannot be redeployed. It would include the type and number of employees to be retrenched or offered golden shake hand under the voluntary retirement scheme. VRS, we can say voluntary retirement. So the type of help to be extended to retrenched employees in the form of compensation or type of help in getting new jobs outside the organization or getting a priority to retrenched personnel in filling future vacancies and so on many more. Okay, then seventh one, we can say employment plan or employment program. So this mainly deals with planning how the organization can obtain the required number and right type of personnel, or you can say there is a need to prepare programs of recruitment or selection or transfer and promotion so that personal needs of various departments of the organization are met timely. So, however, before carrying out these programs, it is estimated or essential to conduct job analysis to know the requirements of the vacancies to be filled. So, job analysis is the quality aspect of manpower planning since it determines the demands of a job in terms of responsibilities and duties. So, and then translates these demands in terms of skills, qualities, and other attributes. So, it helps in determining the requirements of job and qualification needs needed to be filled these jobs. So, job analysis is an essential element of effective manpower planning where accurate job description help in finding out suitable candidates for vacant jobs and developing training programs for them. Then eighth one, training and development program. Here, the preparation of human resource inventory helps in identifying the training and development needs of the organization. So, training is a necessary not only for the new employees but also for the existing employees. Executive development programs have to be devised for the development of managerial person. So, not a no, sorry, you can say no enterprise has a choice of whether to provide training or not. The only choice is that of methods or techniques. All types of jobs usually require some sort of training for their efficient performance. Even when the persons appointed have job experience, they must be given some training to renew their knowledge and skills to tell them what they are expected to do. So the talents of the employee are not fully productive without a systematic program of training and development. So these are the 8 different processes. What and all these processes are there? One is objectives of HRP, inventory of human skills, demand forecasting, supply forecasting, gap analysis, and action plan for redeployment and redundancy. And seventh one, employment program. And the last process is training and development program. Here, we have also called the evaluation of effectiveness of human resource planning, how it is to be done actually. After the employment and training programs have been implemented, an appraisal must be made of the effectiveness of the manpower planning. Deficiencies in the program should be pointed out, and the catalog of manpower inventory should be updated periodically. So, corrective actions should be taken wherever it is necessary to remove the deficiency in the manpower planning. An appraisal of the existing manpower plans will also serve as a guide in the future manpower planning. So here the human resource planning is closely linked to the goals of human resource management and those of the organization. So shortage or surplus of human resource in any department or at any level should be minimized. So human resource planning will be said to be effective if it can anticipate the deficiencies of various skills well in time so that steps are initiated for procurement of required human resources. Similarly, if some type of personnel or surplus, they should be adjusted after giving them appropriate training. So, if it is not possible, they may be phased out through voluntary retirement scheme. Here we call as it is a VRS scheme. Okay, so these are the process and evaluation of effective human resource planning. The next we are going to see difficulties or in human resource planning or difficulties of human resource planning. So here human resource planning is not always effective. So here some problems may arise. There are 6 problems are there, namely first one, lack of understanding of rationale of planning. So there is generally identity crisis, and many managers as well as the human resource specialists do not fully understand the rationale or purpose human resource planning all about. So there can be little doubt that unless the human resource planning specialists develop a strong sense of purpose, they are more likely to fail in this. The second one, insufficient top management support. In the long run, human resource planning must have the full support of top management. If otherwise, it is going to be ineffective. So the support from top management is essential to ensure the necessary resources, or we can say cooperation and support for the success of human resource planning. The third one, insufficient initial effort. Human resource planning might fail because of lack of sufficient initial effort. To be successful, human resource planning should be start slowly and expand gradually. So development of accurate skills inventory and preparation of replacement chart are integral parts of the manpower planning. Third one, lack of coordination with other functions. If you see, to be effective, human resource planning must be coordinated with other management functions. Unfortunately, there is a tendency on the part of manpower planners to become totally absorbed in their own work, keeping aloof from the other functional managers. And fifth one, lack of integration with the organizational plans. Human resource planning must be based on organizational objectives and plans. So this requires a development of good communication channels between the organizational planners and the human resource planners. In many organizations, such a communication is lacking, and the human resource plans are prepared in isolation of the organizational plans. The last difficulty is non-cooperation of operating managers. Human resource planning may fail because of non-cooperation between the personnel and the other functional managers. Successful human resource planning requires a coordinated effort on the part of human resource planners and the operating managers. So these are the 6 major difficulties of human resource planning. Then next we are going to see the guidelines. What are the guidelines for effective human resource planning? If you see, in order to ensure effective human resource planning, it is essential to take necessary actions to bridge the gap between the present resources and the estimated future needs. Otherwise, the mass of information collected by manpower planners will have no use. So further actions has to be planned, keeping in all the concepts like first one, organized effort. What is this organized effect? Human resource planning function should be properly organized, like a separate cell or section or community or committee may be constituted with the human resource department mainly to provide an adequate focus and to coordinate the planning efforts at various levels. And second one, support of top management. Here, to be effective in the long run, human resource planning must have the full support of top management. The support from top management is essential to ensure the necessary resources, cooperation, and support for the success of human resource planning. And third one, size of initial effort. Here, human resource planning fails because lack of sufficient initial effort. In order to be successful, human resource planning should start slowly and expand gradually. Development of accurate skills inventory and preparation of replacement charts are an integral part of the human resource planning. And fourth one, coordination with other management functions. So to be effective, human resource planning must be coordinated with other management functions. Unfortunately, if you see, there is a tendency on the part of human resource planners to become totally absorbed in their own work, keeping aloof from the other operating managers. Then fifth one, integration with corporate plans. Human resource planning must be based on corporate objectives and plans where it requires a development of good communication channels between organizational planners and the human resource planners. In many organizations, such a communication is lacking and the human resource plans are prepared in isolation of the fundamental organizational plans. Then sixth one, involvement of operating managers. It is not a function of human resource planners only. So in order to be successful, human resource planning requires a coordinated effort to on the part of human resource department and the operating managers to develop human resource plans. So these are the guidelines for effective human resource planning. One is organized effort, support of top management, size of initial effort, and with a proper coordination with the management functions and integrated with the corporate plans. And the last one, involvement of operating managers. Thank you.